So good morning everyone and welcome back to PPS Theory Sessions. We are continuing our second last unit of the syllabus, which is dynamic memory allocation, and we have gone through all the topics that we need to cover in the syllabus. The major part was what is dynamic memory allocation, why we need it, and the inbuilt functions that helps us to allocate and deallocate memory at runtime. And for that, we have seen number of functions like malloc, calloc, realloc, and free, right? So let's very quickly have a look at whatever files we have generated till now. So the first file, we looked at why we need it. If we allocate a memory for an array of 20 elements, but if we don't use or utilize those 20 elements, then we are wasting memory. So why not to go and allocate a memory runtime and allocate a memory just enough that we want. So we have gone for malloc function. We allocate a memory, then we store some data and process that data. And when we are done, we free that memory back. So that was the first example with need and a malloc function and a free function. So what is a malloc function? Malloc function is going to allocate you a memory, a block of memory. The size of the memory you have to pass as a parameter. It will return the address of that memory block. Address is going to be void pointer. We have to typecast that address to required data type. So we typecast that thing to integer pointer here. And we have the address. Once we have address, using pointers, we can store data, we can access data, we can manipulate data, whatever we want, we can do that thing, right? So that was the example of malloc and free. And it is going to be the integer elements. Later, we have gone for the second example, again, integer elements. But in this example, we have gone for calloc function, calculated memory allocation, where we need not to pass the total amount of memory that we require. What we pass is we pass the number of element and the size of element. So there are two parameters in the calloc function: number of element and the size of element. Calloc is going to make that calculation, total required memory block size, and it will allocate a memory. It is also going to initialize this memory block with default value. For numbers, it is 0. For other, let's say, character and string, it is going to be null character or the null pointer. So calloc is going to initialize your memory with default value also. So that was the calloc function, and rest of the code will be same. Using pointer, you access your memory allocation, store some data, process that data, whatever you want, you can do that. But sometimes it happens that initially you wanted to have, let's say, 10 bytes of memory. But when you start performing your task, you will come to know that, 10 bytes is not enough. We want 15 bytes. Then there must be some kind of a functionality by which we can reallocate memory. And to achieve that task, we have realloc method. Now it requires two parameters. First one is the existing memory block address. The existing memory block that you have, you need to pass that memory address here. So we are going to pass our pointer variable p. This needs to be the initial address of your memory block. Remember, initial address of your memory block. If you have gone for p++ earlier, then you cannot pass p. You have to decrease that p and then you can pass p variable. Okay. So realloc will have first parameter, the existing memory block address. And the second parameter is going to be the new size, new memory block size. What amount of memory you require now. So realloc will be reallocating you a memory. New memory block will be allocated to you. Older values from old memory location will be copied in the new memory location. Old memory will be deallocated and the new memory address is going to be returned. So new memory address will be returned and we'll store that inside P, same variable P here. Now once we are done with that reallocation process, the rest of the code will be same. Access memory allocation using address pointer variable P. Manipulate your data, whatever you want to do it. And once you are done, do not forget to make that memory free. Deallocate that memory again. Right? So we make it free using free function. So we have seen malloc, calloc, realloc, and free. Now all these examples were related to integer data. Right? It was related to integer data, and to be specific, it is integer array. We have gone for number of elements. So it was integer array. Today, what we want to have a look at is, what if we have structure and we want to go for memory allocation dynamically for a structure variable. So we'll go for the entirely new file here and we'll be working with structures now. Fine? Sorry. So we have already seen few structure examples in the previous unit. We have gone for the how we can define a structure and how we can have a structure variable and all those things. We have already gone through that part. So what I'm going to do is, let's make use of these codes directly. Let us define a structure book. So I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to use it, okay, inside our new file. Let us declare that structure globally. Okay, so we declare a book structure globally here, but I'm not going to have any variable statically. What I want is I'm going to have a structure variable here using struct book and let's say B, and done. Now when I declare a variable like this way, this is static variable declaration, means static memory allocation, and the total size of this structure will be allocated to me with labeled as B. But I don't want to go for it, and let me show you the difference between these B and a star pointer P. So first of all, we want to go for this difference. Let us check it out. Let us see what is the allocated memory, what is the size of B and size of P, both. So we are going to print that size here. Size of B, I'm going to print here percentage long unsigned. So we'll use size of operator, and inside that we are going to pass variable P. Just like this, I'm going to have size of P here, and we'll be printing the size of P at this place. Fine. So let us save this code and run this once. So I'm going to run this code and it will show me the size of both the variables. Size of B is 48 bytes and the size of variable P is 8 bytes. And that's the difference. Look, when you declare a variable for any structure, if it is a normal variable, it is going to acquire total size of that structure, which is 48 bytes. But if you declare a pointer variable, then this pointer variable only needs the address. Only needs the address. And these 8 bytes have been allocated for variable P, which is a pointer variable. So we do not have enough space to store this data, structure data. What we are going to do now is we are going to allocate a memory for this structure variable dynamically. So let me go and let us allocate a memory block of size, and that's going to be the size of our structure, and that's going to be 48 bytes. We already know that. Okay, so what we want here is we want to allocate a memory of 48 bytes. Here, allocate memory block of 48 bytes. Now how do we allocate it? So if we want to allocate a memory runtime, then we have malloc function. You can also use calloc if you require. Now whenever you want to use malloc function, make sure that stdlib.s file is included and how much amount of memory we require. So we say that, okay, size of book I want here. So this amount of memory, which is actually 48 bytes, will be allocated to me, and the initial address of that memory block will be given. That will be void pointer. We have to change that void pointer to struct book pointer. Okay, we have to typecast that address. And then what we can do is we can store that address inside our variable P, like this way. So now we have allocated 48 bytes where we can store our data, and we can access those 48 bytes, that memory location, using this variable P here. So using variable P, let us scan those values and store those values and print those values, right? So if you want to go for it, what we can do is we can have those things like, let me go to another function. Yeah, here we have that code. So I'm going to copy this code simply. Or we are working with pointer, so yeah, let's copy that code here. So now I can ask, please enter book details. I'm going to ask title, author, pages, and price. But remember, using P, okay, we are going to ask user to enter those data, and P is a pointer variable. So whenever you have a pointer to the structure, instead of dot, you need to go for arrow operator, right? What you have to do here is you have to go for arrow operator like this, and the variable is going to be P. So P points to title, P points to author, P points to pages, P points to price. That's how we can have those data. And later point of time, if you want to print it, this is how you can print that data. Okay. Oh, not this one. Just a minute. We want to print it simple. So yeah, this is the code to print it. So title will be something, author will be something, and so on. So what we will require here is we are going to say P arrow and then title, author, pages, and price. Extra printf. given book details. Okay, and lesson here. So we are going to ask user to give data, and we are going to store those data using pointer variable. And again, using pointer variable, we are going to print it also and save it. Right? So this is how we allocate a memory for structure, and then we work with that memory allocated to us. And we get some data, we print some data and all. So let me clear this output window and let's run this code and test it whether whatever data we give, can we store it using pointer like this way? We are going to make it confirmed with this printf statements. Right? So let me run this entire code. So it says structure requires 48 bytes, but pointer variable requires 8 bytes. So runtime, we are going to allocate 48 bytes. And once we have those 48 bytes allocated to us, once we have the address of that memory block inside P, using P we can access that memory block. So I'm going to give title of a book is AAA. Author of a book is again a AAA. Number of pages and a price of a book. So I enter those data, and then just to make it confirm whether we have given data, whether we store it or not, we print that data back. So yes, we have title, author, pages and price properly displayed. Correct? So now we are working with a pointer variable, and using this pointer variable explicitly we have allocated a memory. Don't forget, you should free that memory back. So you should go for free and a p variable here. That's how we make it free. So this was the basic example of working with dynamic memory allocation for structure variable. And this example is to store a single book. We haven't gone for multiple books yet. Yeah, so we have few queries in the chat. Let me go through it first. Nirmal is asking, can you please share this code in MU app? Well, I have shared earlier code in the e-content, so you can check it out. I'll also upload this current file in the e-content once we complete this entire unit. Okay. Manav is asking, after store a value, what will be the size of P? Look, Manav, P is a pointer variable and it requires 8 bytes. That's it. P की size 8 bytes ही रहेगी. It stores the address, so it requires 8 bytes. Now these 48 bytes have been allocated separately. 8 बाइट के अलावा और 48 bytes आपको allocate हुए हैं. And when you make free that P, actually आप ये 48 bytes को free करोगे. ये 8 byte कभी free नहीं होने वाले हैं, because that P pointer variable declaration is just a normal variable declaration there. तो ये 8 byte तो हमेशा आपके पास रहेंगे, लेकिन ये 48 bytes आप रन टाइम allocate करोगे and deallocate करोगे. Okay? Yeah, Yusuf is asking, what will be the memory of this structure after using malloc? Look, structure requires memory which is equivalent to the total size of members. Correct? तो स्ट्रक्चर की साइज तो फिक्स है. आप स्ट्रक्चर को वेरिएबल से एक्सेस करो या आप स्ट्रक्चर को डेटा टाइप से एक्सेस करो, उसकी साइज फिक्स है. 48 bytes, 48 bytes. Right? So it is fixed. स्ट्रक्चर की साइज कभी चेंज नहीं होगी. इट इज गोइंग टू बी 48 बाइट्स इन दिस बुक स्ट्रक्चर. Okay, Manav is asking, sir, for B variable we need 48 plus 48 memory? No. Look, B is a normal variable and B has already been allocated 48 bytes. Now we are not using variable B anywhere. अगर आप use करना चाहते हो तो कर सकते हो. We haven't used variable B inside our entire program. I declare that variable B just to show you. In that case, size of B will be 48 bytes. सिर्फ आपको दिखाना था कि अगर आप नॉर्मल वेरिएबल लेते हो तो उसको 48 बाइट्स डायरेक्ट मिल जाते हैं, लेकिन अगर आप पॉइंटर वेरिएबल लेते हो तो आपको 48 बाइट्स नहीं मिलेंगे. इन दैट केस आपको 48 बाइट्स अलग से अलोकेट करने पड़ेंगे. ओके. Currently, if you want to calculate the total memory acquired by our program, then it is going to be 48 plus 8 plus 48 one more time. 48 and 8, this is static memory allocation, and the other 48 is the dynamic memory allocation. Fine. Okay. So Manav is saying B is more useful than we looking for less memory allocation. Yeah, but it is only the case when you have a single structure data you want to store. It is only the case when you want to store a single book, right? Declaring a normal variable B is efficient when you only want to go for a single book. Now, definitely if you already know कि आपको सिर्फ एक ही बुक स्टोर करना है तो आप नॉर्मल वेरिएबल ले सकते हो. डायनेमिक मेमोरी की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. When we go for dynamic allocation, जब हमें पहले से पता नहीं है कि मुझे कितना डेटा स्टोर करना होगा. If I'm not sure that I'm going to store 5 books or 10 books or 15 books, only in that case we go for dynamic memory allocation. And that's where I'm going to work as going for structure array now. Okay, but वो structure array आप तभी समझ पाओगे जब आपको एक single structure समझ में आएगा, right? So next part हम क्या करेंगे? We are going to allocate a memory for more than one book. We are going to ask user how many books do you have? Then we will allocate enough memory for those number of books and we'll take those data and print those data back. Okay, fine. So before moving to that, Yusuf is asking, will it use whole 48 bytes? Yeah, look, when you have a structure and when you allocate a memory for structure, it is going to acquire full memory block. So in this case, it is going to acquire 48 bytes. Now after that, it depends कि आप कौन सा data store करते हो. If you are going to store only title and pages, then it is going to use that much amount of memory only. बाकी की मेमोरी जो है वो खाली रहेगी क्योंकि हमने कुछ स्टोर नहीं किया. So utilization always depends on your code, what you are going to store there. Fine. Okay, so let's move to the next example. Now at this point of time, what we have done was we have gone for a single book data, correct? Now what we want is, instead of going for single book data like this way, let me comment it out. What we want to do is we want to go for multiple books. So at this place we want to go for multiple books, and it is going to be given by user. We want to ask user how many books do you have, correct? So for that, first of all, we will need one integer variable n, so user can give us the number of books. We are going to work with array number of books, right? So we need for loop and we need loop control variable I. So these two variables we will require. So let's go, and first let us ask user to give the number of books. So printf, and we are going to ask user, please provide number of books, right? And we will scan that data, scanf %d ampersand n. So we get that value. User will say, okay, I do have 5 books. Now once user will tell you the number of books, then you are going to allocate a memory. उसके बाद आप decide करोगे आपको कितनी memory चाहिए. So just like this way, I'm going to allocate a memory here, right? So allocate memory block of size, but now this size is going to be equals to number of books multiplied by size of your structure. Oh, sorry, not here. Number of books multiplied by size of your structure. So n multiplied by size of your structure book. This much amount of memory you are going to allocate. So let's allocate that thing using malloc. N multiplied by size of structure. Fine. So earlier we were having size of P, which is going to be 8 bytes. But when I dynamically allocate a memory, that's not going to be 48, but that is going to be equals to 48 multiplied by number of books. So that much amount of memory we are going to allocate using this statement. Now once we have that memory allocated, we can simply go and get this data and print this data, right? We can ask user to get this or enter this data, and then we can print that data also. But at this time, look, at this time, this is not this is not going to be the single book. This is going to be multiple books. So what we will need here, we need to go for please enter book details one by one. We are going to take multiple book details, and for that we are going to write a for loop here. For I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, and you will run your entire loop, and inside that loop you are going to ask user to enter that data. So here we'll say that, okay, this is my book 1. Okay, book 1, then book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5, and so on. And let us have a new line at this place. So book 1, title, author, pages, and price. Then second time we'll say book 2, title, author, pages, and price. That's how you are going to iterate this thing. Now when you are iterating it and you want to access those elements of structures, what you need to do is you need to go for P of I here, right? We need to go for P of I. Now remember, P is a pointer variable which points to the array of the structures. So P is a pointer, but when you access P of I, that ith element is not the address. Let me clarify this thing. P is a pointer, fine. So it is address. But when you access P of I, ith element is not the address, it is a normal structure element. And that's the reason when you access P of I, you need to go for dot operator. P of I dot title. So that's what you are going to replace here. P of I dot title, P of I dot author, P of I dot pages, P of I dot price. That is how you are going to take those values from user. Remember, P is a pointer variable, so P contains address. But using P, एक बार अगर आप element access कर लेते हो तो वो element address नहीं है, it is a normal structure variable inside that array. So once you access that ith element, you have to go through this dot variable. And just like this way, excuse me, you can go for printing part. Okay, and let me bring that table structure. Where do we print that entire table? Display book. Do we have that table structure printing? And yeah, here we have it. So let me copy this part and bring it here. So I'm going to print all the books in the tabular form now, which we have seen already in the structure example. And we are going to run this loop from 0 to n, and we will print those things. So here I'm going to replace this B2 with P. So P of I dot title, P of I dot author. Well, instead of F name and L name, we also do not have edge. So here we'll say author, right? Title, author, pages, and price. And we will print title. Then we will print author. Rest of the code I'm going to delete here. So we are going to print title, author, pages, and price in a table format. Save it. So this is the example of going through multiple books. Okay, Ajay is asking what is the difference between dot operator and arrow operator. Well, Ajay, we have discussed this thing when we were looking at the structure unit. If you have a simple structure variable, then you can access members using dot operator. अगर आपका वेरिएबल नॉर्मल वेरिएबल है स्ट्रक्चर का तो मेंबर डॉट से मिलेंगे, लेकिन अगर आपका वेरिएबल पॉइंटर वेरिएबल है तो स्ट्रक्चर के मेंबर्स आपको एरो ऑपरेटर से मिलेंगे. ओके, दैट्स द डिफरेंस. Dot and arrow both are going to give you members depending on your variable. Normal variable, go for dot. Pointer variable, go for arrow. Yeah, so now we are done with our code. Let us test this code, run it and test it. So let me clear the output first and then I'm going to run this code. So earlier it says a normal structure will require 48 bytes. Now we have declared a pointer variable p, so it requires 8 bytes. This much amount of memory has been statically allocated to your program. But now it asks us, please provide number of books. How many books do you have? Okay, let me say I have 3 books. अगर 3 बुक है मेरे पास तो मैं 48 मेमोरी ब्लॉक 48 बाइट्स के अंदर 3 बुक का डेटा स्टोर नहीं कर पाऊंगा. ये 48 बाइट्स तो मुझे एक बुक के लिए चाहिए. So if I want to go for 3 books, then multiply 48 by 3. So it will totally require 144 bytes. And we are going to allocate 144 bytes using this malloc. Now once we have allocated that memory block, we can go and ask user to enter the details. So it says, please enter those details one by one. So first book is A, author is A, 111 is page and 111 is price. Then we go for second book. Let's say title is B, author is B, page is 2, price is 2. Then it goes for third book. So let's say title is C, author is C, pages are 3 and price is also 3. So now I've given total 3 books, and later point of time I display those books in a tabular format here. And as you can see, it prints all your data properly. There is no problem there. So it stores those book details, it prints those book details, and once you are done, you free that memory. Those 144 bytes you have made free here. Okay. So Manav is asking, what amount of total memory allocate in case of B and in case of P when we goes for multiple books? Look, size of B and P is fixed. मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले भी बोला था. Look, variable declaration B and P, that is a variable declaration. अगर B नॉर्मल वेरिएबल है स्ट्रक्चर का तो उसको 48 बाइट मिल गए हैं. P पॉइंटर वेरिएबल है तो उसको 8 बाइट मिल चुके हैं. Now this much amount of memory is fixed, okay, and it is not going to be changed at any point of time within your program. आपके प्रोग्राम के अंदर B और P की साइज कभी चेंज नहीं होगी. It's a simple variable declaration. And your program will require this much amount of memory to store something inside that. P के अंदर एड्रेस स्टोर करना है तो आपको 8 बाइट चाहिए. अब वो एड्रेस किसी का भी हो सकता है, बट P will require 8 bytes. अब वो एड्रेस किसका होगा? सो हम बोलेंगे कि वो एड्रेस मेरे मेमोरी ब्लॉक का होगा और वो मेमोरी ब्लॉक मैं रन टाइम अलोकेट करने वाला हूँ. सो what is that memory block? So run time we have decided हमें 144 bytes चाहिए. So हमने 144 bytes allocate किए और उसका जो भी कोई एक एड्रेस हमें मिलेगा, when we allocate that 144 bytes block, उसका जो एड्रेस मिलेगा वो एड्रेस को हम P के अंदर स्टोर करेंगे. That's what the pointer is. So you have to understand pointers properly. The pointer unit, जो pointer unit and pointer examples हमने देखे थे, आप उसको एक बार अच्छे से समझ लो. Then at the end, P is just a pointer variable. Doesn't matter what is that pointing memory size. P जहाँ पे पॉइंट कर रहा है वो 5 बाइट का भी हो सकता है, 15 बाइट का भी हो सकता है, 500 बाइट का भी ब्लॉक हो सकता है. इट डजेंट मैटर. P को उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि P जो है वो सिर्फ एड्रेस याद रखेगा. P को तो सिर्फ एड्रेस चाहिए और उसको एक और चीज़ उसको चाहिए, उसका डेटा टाइप. उसको ये पता होना चाहिए कि मैं जहाँ पे पॉइंट करता हूँ वहाँ पे कौन सा डेटा है. वहाँ पे इंटीजर डेटा है, वहाँ पे फ्लोट डेटा है या फिर वहाँ पे स्ट्रक्चर डेटा है. इट ओनली वांट्स to know the data type, right? So coming back to your question, Manav, size of B and size of P is fixed. वो कभी चेंज नहीं होगी. B की साइज 48 बाइट और P की साइज 8 बाइट्स है. दैट्स इट. ओके, एनी मोर डाउट और क्वेरी? P को जब आप एड्रेस बताओगे तब आप ये डिसाइड करोगे कि ओके, ऑन दैट एड्रेस, उस एड्रेस पे एक्चुअली आपके पास 144 बाइट्स हैं, and you can access those 144 bytes using its address which is stored inside P. उस 144 बाइट्स को आप उसके एड्रेस से एक्सेस कर सकते हो, और उसका एड्रेस किसके पास है? उसका एड्रेस वेरिएबल P के पास है. So using P we are going to access that memory, right? So that's what the dynamic memory allocation for structure. अब एक सिंगल स्ट्रक्चर के लिए आप रेयरली मेमोरी अलोकेट करते हो, बट जनरली यू वांट टू गो फॉर एरे ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर्स विथ डायनामिक मेमोरी अलोकेशन. सो एक ये केस हो गया. अब सिंगल स्ट्रक्चर के लिए आप मेमोरी अलोकेट डायनामिकली कब करोगे? जब आप डायनामिकली डिसाइड करोगे कि मुझे एक बुक चाहिए. रन टाइम यू आर गोइंग टू डिफाइन, आई वांट वन बुक. I don't care how many books I have already stored, where I have stored, but independently I want one more book. Then you are going to allocate a memory for that structure runtime, and you will have the address of that memory block runtime. Now you are going to work with structures and dynamic memory allocation in next semester data structures subject. अगले सेमेस्टर में जब आप डेटा स्ट्रक्चर सब्जेक्ट पढ़ोगे, now this is only for computer IT students, okay? They are going to have data structure subject in the next semester, and there they are going to create linked list, tree and graph. जब वो लोग लिंक लिस्ट, ट्री और ग्राफ बनाएंगे तब उनको ये करना पड़ेगा. They have to define a node as a structure, और रन टाइम उस नोड के लिए आपको मेमोरी अलोकेट करना होगा, और रन टाइम आपको वो एड्रेस भी मेंटेन करना होगा. So that's where you are going to use malloc as well as structure, this thing. Okay, well, so that's all from my side today. We are done with dynamic memory allocation also, and as we have less time, we are not going to start new unit today. Tomorrow we are going to have a lecture. Remember, Thursday's lecture we have rescheduled on Saturday 11:30. So tomorrow we are going to have one lecture, and we will start our new unit, file handling there. How we can handle files, text files or binary files in C program. So that's the thing we are going to start. That's the last unit of your syllabus. So that's all from my side. If you have any query, you may ask, or else we conclude this session here. If you want, you may leave this meeting. Thank you everyone for being the part of this session here. I'm going to stop sharing, but I'm still here. If you have any query, I'm going to resolve your queries. Otherwise, we are done here.